Welcome true crime fans. On this channel we post regular videos diving deep into infamous crimes, unsolved mysteries, trending news, and chilling cases. With new episodes released every week, be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the details. This is one YouTube channel you won't want to miss if you love true crime. On today's case, what happens when intense passion turns into obsessive jealousy? Love can quickly become a dangerous game. This is the theme of our case today involving Anna Moriah Wilson. Anna Moriah Wilson was an American professional gravel and mountain bike racer. She was considered a rising star in the sport. She was born on May 18, 1996 in Littleton, New Hampshire, to her parents Eric and Karen Nay Cronin Wilson. She had one brother, Matthew Wilson. In her early life, she grew up in Kirby, Vermont. Wilson attended Burke Mountain Academy, a world-class ski racing boarding school in East Burke, Vermont that offers elite alpine training for grades 8 to 12. She later graduated in 2014. She joined Dartmouth College and graduated in 2019 with a Bachelor of Engineering. Raised in a family of athletes, Wilson developed a passion for cycling as a young girl. She was a nationally ranked junior skier but had become a gravel cyclist. Before her career as a professional cyclist full-time, she had worked as a demand planner for Specialized. Wilson had hoped to one day go to graduate school, possibly for mechanical engineering. Cycling was not seen as her forever career. She was dating fellow pro cyclist Colin Strickland in late 2021/early 2022. Their relationship was apparently on again, off again. Here is a timeline of events leading up to the murder of Anna Moriah Wilson. Early 2022, Wilson and Colin Strickland briefly date, but then break up and remain friends. Strickland starts dating Kaitlin Armstrong. April 2022, Wilson travels to Europe for cycling races. She sustains a minor injury that forces her to take a break from racing. May 7th, Wilson returns to Austin, Texas, where Strickland lives. Strickland picks her up from the airport. May 8th, Wilson goes swimming with Strickland. They get dinner but allegedly do not rekindle their romantic relationship. May 10th, Wilson meets fellow cyclist Kaitlin Marie for a swim date. They begin a brief romantic affair. May 11th, 5:30 p.m., Strickland takes Wilson out for dinner. He then drops her off at the home she was staying at around 8:30 p.m. May 11th, 9:30 p.m., surveillance footage shows Kaitlin Armstrong's black Jeep Cherokee pulling up outside the home Wilson was staying in. May 11th, 9:40 p.m., a female matching Armstrong's description is seen entering the home. A gunshot is heard. May 11th, 9:42 p.m., the same woman exits and drives away in the Jeep Cherokee. May 11th, 10 p.m., Wilson's friend returns home to find her lying dead with multiple gunshot wounds. May 12th, Austin police issue a homicide warrant for Kaitlin Armstrong as the prime suspect. She flees and is not captured until June 2022. Here are some key details about Kaitlin Armstrong, the prime suspect in Anna Moriah Wilson's murder. Kaitlin Louise Armstrong is a 34-year-old woman originally from Livingston, Texas. She worked as a real estate agent and amateur cyclist/yoga instructor in the Austin area. Armstrong began dating pro cyclist Colin Strickland in late 2021 after his brief relationship with Wilson had ended. Friends described her relationship with Strickland as tumultuous, on again, off again. There were fights over jealousy issues. Armstrong was apparently aware of Strickland's continuing friendship with Wilson and became increasingly suspicious and angry about it. In the weeks leading up to the murder, Armstrong's jealousy allegedly intensified after learning Wilson and Strickland had gone swimming together. Investigators believe Armstrong learned of Wilson's brief romantic involvement with another cyclist, Kaitlin Marie, which likely triggered jealousy and rage. Armstrong allegedly obtained the handgun used in the murder just 2 days prior, suggesting some degree of premeditation. Police found Wilson's street location using her cellular data and surmise Armstrong did the same to track her whereabouts. The evening of the murder, surveillance footage places Armstrong's black Jeep Cherokee near Wilson's residence around the estimated time of the shooting. It's theorized Armstrong arrived assuming Wilson was alone and caught her by surprise before quickly fleeing the scene. Armstrong was adept at details, so she likely planned meticulously, acquiring the gun, timing her arrival, altering her appearance in case of witnesses. Her swift flight from Austin and weeks evading capture indicate she had some exit strategy planned. She changed her appearance and name and had cash to stay hidden. Some speculate she had help planning, but so far no accomplices have been definitively tied to aiding Armstrong before or after the murder. Her specific motivations and full timeline leading up to the fatal shooting remain unclear and subject to ongoing investigation. But jealousy appears the most likely motive based on evidence so far. Here are the key details about the investigation and final arrest of Kaitlin Armstrong for Anna Moriah Wilson's murder. Austin police quickly focused on Armstrong as the prime suspect based on surveillance footage, her relationship to the victim, and tips from Wilson's friends. An arrest warrant was issued for Armstrong on May 12, 2022, but she had already fled the area after selling her black Jeep Cherokee.
Armstrong was questioned by police a day after Wilson's death and arrested on a separate warrant, but was later released from custody after her date of birth was incorrect on that warrant, causing a legal discrepancy. Now, Armstrong has been missing since then. Surveillance footage shows Armstrong flying into New York's LaGuardia Airport on May 14th. Then on May 18th, the day after a murder warrant was issued for Armstrong, someone dropped her off at New Jersey's Newark Airport. However, there was no record of her taking a flight out of Newark.
Investigators learned Armstrong's sister had recently driven her to Houston Airport. They presume she flew to New York first before traveling out of the country. For weeks, no trace of Armstrong could be found. Marshals eventually located her at a hostel in Costa Rica in late June using debit/credit card records. She had altered her appearance, cutting and darkening her hair, and had a new passport and ID under a different name. Authorities detained Armstrong on an immigration charge in Costa Rica on June 29 while they worked to extradite her. On July 2, 2022, Armstrong was extradited back to Texas to face charges. Police bodycam footage captured the moment she was handed over to Austin investigators. On July 20th, she pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder charges. Her bail was set at $3.5 million. Her next court appearance is scheduled for October. After suffering delays, the case went to trial on October 30, 2023. Armstrong had lost her bid to suppress evidence of her custodial interrogation with the Austin Police Department, which she argued was illegally obtained because she was not apprised of her Miranda warning. A federal charge of unlawful flight to avoid prosecution against her was provisionally dismissed as well. Legal experts said such a motion was routine since she had a constitutional right to a speedy trial. On October 12, 2023, Armstrong escaped from officers who had escorted her to a medical appointment outside of the jail. She was reapprehended after a brief chase. She was charged with escape causing bodily injury, and the charges were later dropped. On November 16, 2023, Armstrong was found guilty of first-degree murder. She was sentenced to 90 years in prison with eligibility for parole after 30 years. Armstrong is appealing the conviction. Anna Moriah Wilson's murder reminds us of the fine line between caring deeply and claiming ownership over another person's heart. Kaitlin Armstrong stands accused of allowing jealous rage to entirely eclipse any love she may have once felt. As we reflect on this case, we're reminded how precious life is and how easily it can be extinguished by senseless violence. Wilson's bright light was dimmed far too soon, but her competitive spirit lives on as an inspiration. Let's allow this tragedy to renew our conviction in nurturing community over isolation, understanding over suspicion. With compassion and moral courage, we can emerge from even the darkest places. That is all for today, folks. Stay safe out there, but never stop seeking the horizon. Goodbye.